Democracy is about contestation.
In business and in
Ideas.
politics,
It's about,
coincidences are rare,
plurality.
especially when
It's about
someone like Alex
people have-
Soros comes to Poland 2 days before the beginning of the pre-election silence. Officially, he came to criticize Donald Trump at an event in Poznan. Great to be back in lovely Poznan, Poland for the Impact CEE, Europe's biggest business conference after Davos, discussing Europe's reaction to Trump's second term. In politics, just like in movies, the sequel is always worse. Political interference and attempts to influence election results are what the controversial billionaires George Soros and his son Alex specialize in. They have their favorite candidate in Poland, Rafał Trzaskowski, and they are completely open about it. It is possible that a representative of the young left-wing generation came with some money under the table. This is a major tradition for the civic platform. After all, the very founding of the party was connected with Donald Tusk and the money they received from Germany. Rafał Trzaskowski fits perfectly into the concept that the Soros family is trying to inject into the world with their money: gender ideology, the European Green Deal, and the unreflective acceptance of illegal Islamic immigrants. I have no doubts whatsoever that George Soros, along with his son, who has taken up his father's interests, have long supported Rafał Trzaskowski, grantee of the George Soros Foundation. All the more so that Rafał Trzaskowski himself has published photos with Alex Soros on the internet. For years they have been influencing the politics of the European Union, as well as other countries around the world, by all possible means. It is hard to imagine that today he would not want to have a man like Rafał Trzaskowski as a friend, if not a dependent. Soros's actions are nothing more than influencing domestic politics. We see that this left-wing international clique has played all their cards on pushing Rafał Trzaskowski through this election. The more influence you have in the economy, the more influence you have in politics. Sometimes it's direct influence and sometimes it's behind-the-scenes, under-the-table influence. It's a dangerous game because with the help of funding, various institutions, formerly George Soros and now his son Alex, try to influence politicians, and sometimes they do it directly. This is a photo from a meeting between Alex Soros and Radosław Sikorski, Poland's foreign minister. This whole leftist ideology, of which George Soros is a symbol, was implemented in Europe through successive people, leaders and politicians of various countries. In Poland, it was very well adopted by men like Rafał Trzaskowski. Rafał Trzaskowski is, one might say, an alumnus of George Soros, and his son maintains excellent relations with him. Soros cares that the scenario of conservative politicians returning to power, as happened overseas after the crushing victory of Donald Trump and Republican congressmen, does not occur in Poland. We are witnessing a very dangerous political game and attempts to save Rafał Trzaskowski by the entire Soros family. We are seeing what we observed just a few months ago during the US elections, where the left-wing establishment, think tanks, NGOs and foundations linked to specific individuals, such as the Soros family, tried to tilt the US election results. Today, the same lifeline is being thrown to Rafał Trzaskowski. Hence, the overt support for Rafał Trzaskowski just before the first round of the Polish presidential election. The Soros family takes care of their own.